po ba yung dapat na gamiting word o terminology dito po sa ginawa ng US dito po kay Nicolas Maduro? Tama po ba yung capture, arrest, abduction? Ano po ba yung term na dapat gamitin?
Okay. Well, you can use everything that you've said. Pwede talaga siyang gawing na abduction. Kasi sabihin ko na po, no, illegal po yung pagkuha ng United States ng Presidente Trump kay Maduro. Talagang malaking paglabag yan, no, sa public international law from 2 points, 2 perspectives. Pero siguro po unahin po natin yung aspeto na yung mismong proseso ng pagkuha is meanwhile already a violation ng political independence ng Venezuela at violation na rin po sa sinasabi nating territorial integrity ng bansa ng Venezuela. Yun po yung unang-una. Wala pong karapatan ang isang bansa, kahit United States may Estados Unidos po yan, na pumasok, no, sa isang bansa na walang consent nung bansang yon. At obviously, yun po yung ginawa nila. So that's already a violation ng United Nations Charter, Article 2.4, no? Kasi yung use of force po ang ginamit nila. At pangalawa po, pwede po nating pagkwentuhan pa later on, no? Wala rin buong karapatan at illegal po talaga. Ang unang-una, ang pagkuha sa isang sitting president ng isang bansa. Kahit po alam naman natin, may kagaya ng sabi niyo, Miss Christian, may problema talaga kay Maduro, no? At madami ring mga bansa na hindi kumikilala na si Maduro ang presidente ng Venezuela. Nevertheless, he is still considered the official sitting president of Venezuela. At wala po talagang magagawa ang kahit anong bansa doon. Lahat ng mga heads of state ng bawat country in the world ay may tinatawag po nating immunity. Immunity as a head of state. So from those two perspectives, makikita po talaga natin na may paglabag sa international law.
Okay. Bago natin pag-usapan yung mga pwedeng gawin moving forward, no? Kasi nakikita ko pa yung mga arguments also in support or to justify this action by the United States dito po sa Venezuela. In particular, dito kay Nicolas Maduro. Binanggit nyo na po, no? Maraming bansang hindi nire-recognize yung kanyang pagkapanalo doon sa pinakahuling eleksyon. And of course, he was indicted in a US court. Can those 2 points be used to justify this? Unang-una, hindi ka nire-recognize ng US at ang maraming bansa dahil sa pandarayang ginawa mo sa pinakahuling eleksyon. And number 2, may kaso ka eh. May hinaharap kang drug trafficking charge dito sa korte namin.
Okay. Doon sa dalawang punto na binigay mo, Christian, no? Una-una, kahit hindi siya nire-recognize internationally, pero within Venezuela, he is considered the president. And he has been exercising his authority and powers as the president of Venezuela. Kahit diktador man yan, kahit human rights violator man yan, walang karapatan ang ni isang bansa sa labas ng Venezuela para sabihin, hindi ikaw ang presidente. So, he is considered the sitting president of Venezuela. At saka yung second point na ginawa mo, na sinabi mo, Cristiano, oo nga, may kaso siya sa United States. Pero yun na nga yung problema. Because under public international law, and in fact, ito yung tinatawag natin international customary law, ang isang korte ng isang bansa ay wala ring karapatan para i-indict at i-enforce yung ano tinatawag natin dito, yung adjudicatory powers, no, ng isang bansa over a sitting president. Kasi nga may immunity siya. Kaya the USA is a country, no? And the USA is actually equal to Venezuela. Now, under public international law, all of the countries we have around the world are equal, and not one country has the right to adjudicate a sitting president in their own country. Actually, hindi po talaga pwede yan. And matagal na batas po yan, no? Kaya kagaya po ng sabi ko nga, international customary law po yan.
Mm.
So aside from the fact na may violation ng UN Charter, may violation din po ng rule of law sa international regime natin.
How about yung foreign policy direction ng United States? Can that also, yung foreign policy ng United States in that particular part of the world, no? Yung tinatawag na Monroe Doctrine before, and then of course, yung Trump corollary, can they be used to justify this latest action by the Trump administration?
Actually, the Monroe Doctrine, ang tinatawag natin, no, that was propagated by President Monroe in the 19th century, provides that the Western Hemisphere, Americas, Central America, South America, is the sphere of interest of the United States. And actually, hindi natin masasabi na that is actually part of international law. Actually, that's foreign policy, as you said, no? Pero no foreign policy can actually justify the violation of very, very clear tenets of international law. Those tenets which I have already explained, na equal ang lahat ng mga bansa regardless of what the foreign policy is, and secondly, sitting president po si Maduro. And equal kasi ang lahat ng mga bansa. So the United States is not superior to Venezuela. And ang magiging problema natin ngayon, actually consequence ng nangyari, no? Ng US, na ginawa ng US, is actually really a reassertion of the United States of its imperialist designs on other countries. And very, very obvious na wala silang pakialam sa rules under international law.
Okay. The next important question po, no? Okay. So kahit maliwanag po na paglabag yan sa international law, the question is, so what are you going to do about it? Kinondemn na ibang bansa, other countries are quiet. Others
Yes.
are somehow on the fence. So already, the US did this. So
Yeah.
what are they going to do about it?
You know, malaki ang burden on the international community to actually provide a united front, no, supposedly, para to assert the rules under international law. At kagaya ng sabi mo, Christian, yung iba nag-condemn na, no? Yung iba naman, like the Philippines, has just issued a statement saying that we need that, hindi naman talaga outright condemnation kasi alay natin ng US, no?
Yeah.
Pero pointing out that there have been violations of international law and that we as an international community are obliged to actually assert those rules, assert the rules of peaceful resolution of disputes, assert the rules under the UN na dapat walang threat or use of force, and assert as well the international rule of law na dapat talaga fina-follow ang correct procedure. And some countries are on the fence. Some countries are, of course, happy that this is happening. Why? Because this will provide them the basis to also violate international law. Now, I have to say, Christian, that this is not the first time that the United States has done it. Kung maaalala natin, ginawa na nila yan, no, kay Noriega, Panama, 1989 ba yun?
1989.
Okay, 1989, over the Noriega of Panama. And in fact, consistent din si Trump na sinasabi rin niya, kailangan din yung presidente ng Colombia arrestuhin, magiging indictable din because of drugs, etc. So, Kung ito ang mangyayari, babagsak at babagsak talaga itong very, very carefully constructed rules of international law that has permitted the international community to try to live in peace and security. Na ang bawat bansa ay may sovereignty, may non-intervention in terms of its political independence and territorial integrity. Ano mangyayari, no?
Okay.
Kung hindi talaga magkakaroon ng united front ang international community, members of the UN particularly, ay labo-labo na yan.
Okay.
And in fact, China can invade and do the same thing, sabihin natin, with regard to Taiwan. Pwede yung ibang countries din, kapag may mga border disputes, ganun na rin ang gagawin nila. So, we have been trying so hard since the 1940s to really come to a stable understanding of what international law means. Kaya lang may mga bansa, kagaya ng United States, in this particular instance, na mukha talagang wala silang pakialam, and it's the power of the might that rules rather than the rule of law.